Hello everyone. Today we are going to take a very important topic of ecology, that is ecosystem ecology, in which we are mainly concerned in studying the ecosystems. And before discussing the concept of ecosystem, let me tell you, you should be first of all very well aware about the concept of biological community. And in brief, I will tell you what a biological community is: a group of populations of different species which interact and influence each other. This constitutes a biological community. That means at community level ecology, you are studying the interactions of organisms between themselves only. And the next level of ecology is ecosystem ecology, in which ecologists are interested in studying one more additional interaction. And that additional interaction is how organisms interact with the physical environment in which they live. Okay? So you can simply define ecosystem ecology as that branch of ecology which studies the interactions of organisms between themselves and with the physical environment in which they live. And the main motive of ecosystem ecologists is to study how energy and matter flows between through organisms and their physical environment. And to address this question, you have to study first of all the structure of ecosystem, in which we will study food chains, we will study food webs, we will study the different components of ecosystems, okay, trophic levels. And in the functional attributes of ecosystems, we are going to study energy flow, we will study production, we will study decomposition, and finally nutrient cycle. Okay. So without consuming much of your time, I will directly move on to the concept of ecosystem. What an ecosystem is. The term ecosystem is derived from two words, and the literal meaning of these words is eco means environment and system means interacting and interdependent complex. Just like you have a system in which different parts are working together and they are interacting and the system works, same is the case with ecosystem. In ecosystem, you are having environment, and that environment is having components, biological component and abiotic component, sorry. And these components, they interact and the ecosystem comes into being. Ecosystem works, okay? Or there is one more definition of ecosystem, which is like this: it is a functional unit of nature in which organisms interact first of all with themselves, and they also interact with the physical environment or the surrounding environment. Okay? And this definition tells you that for nature to function, the organisms have to interact with one another and they have to interact with the physical environment. That means nothing can exist in isolation. That is why ecosystem is said to be the functional unit of nature. अगर interactions नहीं होती, अगर एक ecosystem नहीं बनता, nature function नहीं करता, ना तो energy move करती, ना matter करता है ना move. ठीक है बेटा? Okay. The term was first of all coined by Arthur George Stanley in 1935, and at that time he also proposed a definition of ecosystem, which was like this: it is an interacting system in which the biotic and abiotic components, they integrate and they influence each other. Okay. One more simplest definition of ecosystem is the ecosystem results from the interaction of all the biotic and abiotic factors of the environment. This is all about the different definitions of ecosystem. Now we will study the different scales of ecosystem. First of all, let me tell you that the ecosystem is not a closed system, because in ecosystems energy can come in, it can go out, matter can come in, it can go out. For example, let us take an example of a lake. In a lake, different birds come, they come for feeding, they come for breeding, and after some time they move out. That means your ecosystems do not have the perfect boundaries, and that is why it is really difficult to define ecosystems in exact terms. Okay. However, for the sake of convenience, to make our studies systematic, we have arbitrarily delimited different ecosystems which are present on Earth. And the size of ecosystems it can vary. Excuse me. The size of ecosystems, it varies. A small droplet of water can exist as an ecosystem. A puddle of water, puddle means you are having a ditch and that ditch is filled with water. Okay, that can exist as an ecosystem. Or a big forest can be taken as a single ecosystem, or an ocean can be taken as a single ecosystem. That means the scales of ecosystems, it varies. The size of ecosystems, it varies. A single droplet of water holding different bacterial species can be considered as an ecosystem. A puddle of water holding different bacterial species plus some insect larvae plus some additional species, it can also be said to act as an ecosystem. A forest covering millions of acres of land, it can also act as an ecosystem. And an ocean which holds a lot of water spanning over millions of million square kilometers, it can also be taken as an ecosystem. Okay, and many biologists are of the opinion that the whole earth is actually a single giant ecosystem, and this giant ecosystem is known as ecosphere or biosphere. Okay, actually they define biosphere like this: it is the area on the earth and around it which supports life. Okay, they say that the whole earth is a single large ecosystem. Simply you have to remember this, and this whole ecosystem is known as biosphere. However, for the sake of convenience, different ecosystems have been delimited on the surface of earth, and these ecosystems can be divided into different categories. For example, natural ecosystem or artificial ecosystem, temporary or permanent, and large or small. Okay, we have already studied the scale of ecosystems. That means their size, it can vary. It can, a single droplet of water, a single pinch of soil, a puddle of water, it can act as an ecosystem. A big ocean, okay, that too can act as an ecosystem. Okay, and now here we will focus mainly on natural and artificial ecosystems. And first of all, let me tell you that the difference between temporary and permanent ecosystems. Temporary ecosystems are those ecosystems which cannot exist for long. For example, you are having a puddle of water, and that puddle of water is destined to die out. It will not remain as such for a longer time duration. Or you are having a seasonal pond, at that seasonal pond it is having water only for some time. That means it's not permanent, it is temporary. On the other hand, you are having a forest, and that forest is believed to exist for a longer time span. It is said to be permanent ecosystem. Okay, here we will focus mainly on natural and artificial ecosystem, and then in natural and artificial ecosystems you are having different categories. First of all, we will discuss the natural ecosystems. Those are ecosystems which operate by themselves without any physical interference, without any major interference from the humans. They are known as natural ecosystems, and they are further divided into different categories based on the type of habitat. Okay, natural ecosystems are divided into different categories based on the type of habitat. The first one is terrestrial ecosystem. Those ecosystems that operate on land, they are known as terrestrial ecosystems. Examples are forests, grasslands, deserts. You are having taiga, you are having tundra. These are the additional types of ecosystems. Okay, beta. For example, here you are having grasslands. Okay, you are having savannas. Savannas are the grasslands where some large trees are present, but they are present in scarce quantity. You are having only a few plants in a large area which is covered by grass, and this whole area having plants, having trees in scarce amount, in scarce number, this is known as savanna. You are also having here, this is the tundra, and this tundra is actually the alpine region in which lichens, mosses, herbs, and some shrubs are present. You cannot find trees in tundra region. Okay, and you are having deserts. Deserts are a unique type of ecosystem where you have less rainfall and you have scarce vegetation. Okay, then aquatic ecosystems, those ecosystems which operate in water bodies, they are known as aquatic ecosystems. They are further divided into two main categories: freshwater ecosystems. It means those ecosystems, those aquatic ecosystems which operate in freshwater bodies. Okay? That means those water bodies in which the salt concentration is least. Okay, and these freshwater ecosystems are further categorized into two types: lotic and lentic. Those ecosystems which operate in running water bodies, for example, springs, streams, rivers, they constitute the lotic. And ecosystems, for example, here this is a river in which water is flowing. This is the lotic ecosystem. And those freshwater ecosystems which operate in standing water bodies, example lakes, ponds, pools, swamps, they constitute the lentic freshwater ecosystems. Now the marine water ecosystems, actually marine water ecosystems are those ecosystems that operate in water bodies in which the salt concentration is very much high. And the examples are, you are having intertidal coastlines. Okay? Shallow waters, you can say. You are having shallow waters, and shallow waters in case of oceans, they are represented by tidal zones. Okay? Coastal tidal zones. You are having the coast of a sea, and that coast is one type of ecosystem. Okay? Coastal tidal lines, they represent the shallow water ecosystems in case of oceans. And then you are having the deep seas. That means beyond the coastline, you are having another type of ecosystem, and that ecosystem is known as deep water ecosystem. Yeah, deep sea ecosystem. And you are having one more type of marine water ecosystem, that is estuaries or estuarine ecosystem. Excuse me. Estuaries are actually those sites where the rivers, they drain fresh water into the oceans. Here you can see this is an estuary where a river is draining, it is fresh water in the sea. Okay, and the second category of ecosystem is artificial ecosystems. Those ecosystems which are man-made, or we can say which are anthropogenic, or we can say those ecosystems which are engineered by man, they are known as artificial ecosystems, and they are created and maintained wholly and solely by humans. Examples are, you are having different croplands such as sugarcane crop. You are having crop, you are having a crop of sugarcane, and this whole area which is covered by sugarcane, this is one type of ecosystem. Maize, you are having maize crop, that is another type of ecosystem, and so on and so forth. I think this is all for today. I hope you all understand this, and in the next coming classes, inshallah, we will discuss